What's good, family? So we got some breaking news right now regarding your mans. Gennady, very nice, I like. Your wife nice, how much? She nice, how much I buy, I like. Golovkin, airing out Canelo's corruption. Alleging Canelo essentially jerked off the judges and used some form of tissue to clean it up. Yeah, Canelo allegedly, 24 hours before the fight, was under the judges' table, jerking them all off into some tissues, of which they were then used to throw away. I'm going to give you, man, the bars right here. Golovkin on the judges for the first two Canelo fights. They were used like disposable tissues. Yeah, Canelo used them into the tissues, 100%. That's what he said. I'm just repeating the words. Oops. Yeah, 100%. Canelo jerked them off into tissues. And then obviously, don't forget, people, we are living in some zesty times. Yeah, and no doubt some zesty judges, Canelo put it on them and said, listen, I'm desperate to get the W. What have I got to do? Yeah, what kind of Harvey Weinstein things can I be on? Yeah, I'm trying to be on that Bill Cosby thing. Yeah, get me on the Bill Cosby flex. Yeah, I need to get on. What do we know about Hollywood? What do we know about Hollywood? Yeah, people will do anything to get on. And that's what Canelo said. Yeah, if Canelo got to get the tissues out, that's what he'll do. Big facts. Here's the bars from Golovkin anyway. Mr. Very Nice, I like. Here we go. I'll be honest with you. I moved on the next day, Golovkin said in response to the bad judges' scorecards. I haven't thought about it much. I realised that those people who gave those scores, they were used. Oh, wow. Yeah, Canelo used their jab end with his hand, 100%. They were used into a disposable tissue. Yeah, 100%. Canelo used his hand with their twang into a tissue. It was time to use them. They were used, they were milked. I'm just reading the bars here. It was time for Canelo to milk them. And they were milked into tissues, of which were then disposed of. Wow! Mad allegations. He alleging Gennady, very nice. Golovkin alleging Canelo did all sorts for the W. Yeah, Canelo, one of them Hollywood females, willing to do anything to get on. Yeah, I rate Golovkin for spitting the bars out there. Yeah, the number one, the judges, you're a bunch of paid, used tissues having asses. Canelo had a go on you. That's the other way of looking at it. Gennady Golovkin's a legend. Canelo had a go on them. Yeah, had a go on them, wiped himself up with tissues and dashed them away. Canelo been having a go on these weird ass judges. He used them up for what they was worth. He treated them like cheap hookers. Yeah, no tissues, just left it leaking out, 100%. Canelo took the judges, he bust inside them and let it all dribble out. That's what Gennady Golovkin, a legend. But listen, I like what Golovkin doing here. Well, there's two ways of looking at it. Let's not forget, I've done videos over the last few days. Golovkin has been talking the most. He's been talking about how Canelo's juiced. He's been talking, I got another leak here. Check this leak out. Here we go. Another quick leak. Golovkin, Canelo saying he lost only a couple of rounds to Bivol shows he has lost touch with reality. Wow. Golovkin's just been on this guy's neck. Now, I'm not going to sit there and say why. We know why. We know they don't like each other. After all, Gennady Golovkin was undefeated. He feels as if, the first fight he definitely won and only got a draw. Even the second fight, he was still the main champion. He feels undefeated. Imagine that, having that legacy. He may feel he's supposed to be undefeated right now. And Mr. Carrot Top came along. Yeah, Mr. Carrot Top came along, stroked all the judges off, and took his legacy away from him. So I understand how Golovkin's feeling. However, my point is right now, maybe there's no point, but I'm saying, what's Golovkin's angle? Is Golovkin trying to get Canelo into his feelings? And if so, why? Now, initially, I'd be thinking, wait there a minute, why would Golovkin want the most ferocious Canelo? Because he's old. Although, the flip side of that is, look at Bivol. Now, Bivol didn't tease Canelo, but still, Bivol went in there and weathered the storm. Yeah? So I'm thinking maybe it's possible, Golovkin's plan, he wants Canelo to be charged up. Golovkin knows or thinks Canelo doesn't have a great gas tank. Get Canelo all hyped up. Let him go in there, blow his load in 4 rounds, and Golovkin knows he don't know how to dig deep. Canelo is weak when it comes to cardio. That is Canelo's weakness. He doesn't know how to push through. He doesn't know how to dig deep. He's an on-top, a classic 2022 new age on-top fighter. Is it Golovkin's plan to go in there on some Ali versus Foreman ting and let Canelo bang away until his wheels fall off, and then he's gonna old dog him? Yeah? Give him some old dogging, 100%. I think it's not a bad plan. I said to you, my game plan for Golovkin to win this fight would be similar to Bivol. Go in there, keep it tight for the first few rounds, get warmed up, force Canelo to punch. How you do that is tight guard. Like, listen, Bivol had a tight guard, yeah, and he wouldn't back up. He'd stand there in the pocket with Canelo and let Canelo get off on his arms. And the thing is, Canelo, unlike most fighters, is happy to punch the arms, which means he's happy to expend a lot of energy. Other fighters, when you cover up, they won't necessarily just throw shots anyway. Canelo's happy to sit there and blow half of his load on non-scoring shots. So if Golovkin winds Alvarez up enough that he goes in there and that emotion, listen, there's nothing more tiring than wanting to hurt someone. When you're wanting to hurt someone and you're putting in 110% into every punch, that's going to get you gassed quick. Now, the upside of that is that, oh well, you're punching with 110% power. That's going to do more damage. Yeah, it may do. It may do more damage on a 40-year-old Golovkin, or Mr. Can't Handle Cardio, Alvarez. His wheels might just fall off a bit quicker. In which case, Golovkin can come in, and we know the only thing Canelo hates more than running out of gas is when he's punched whilst having no gas. Yeah? Watch the Bivol fight. Canelo would run out of gas, and then Bivol would start punching him in his head, right in his carrot top. And that would get him so frustrated. Alvarez, for the first time in his career, was looking like a whole victim. That's the God's honest truth. I thought he was about to cry in there at points. He was down bad. And I can't believe Golovkin's kind of played it down. Oh no, I haven't even watched the Bivol fight. I can't believe, the one man who's been out to get it done. I can't believe you wouldn't watch that fight. I think most likely he's bluffing. And in fact, it's the rational thing to do. Go in there and mimic as best as you can the Bivol performance. Now again, the flip side is, if Golovkin goes in there and gets his old 40-year-old ass smoked, it's a wrap for him. And that's why I don't see Canelo stopping Golovkin. I can't imagine it. Golovkin hates this guy. Who wants to be stopped, by the man they hate? Golovkin would rather be stopped by some random dude. There's no way Golovkin's going to allow himself to be stopped by Canelo. I just can't see it at any level. That said, Alvarez is alleged to be the most aggressive yet. I've never heard Alvarez talk about going for the KO. he's going for the KO this time. Carrot Top is turned on by old Golovkin. Yeah? Which is really a bit of a shame. I think it's a bit corny. For me, Alvarez is a little bit corny at the fact that all of a sudden, now you're fighting an old head. Now you want to go for the KO. But guess what? In the first 2 fights, you weren't talking about no KO. Do you know what I'm saying? That for me is corny. Why are you picking on the old head for? Do you know what I'm saying? But who knows? Golovkin ain't that old. He punched up Murata. Now, Murata isn't some top cat, but still, he punched him up. Yeah? And Golovkin's going up in weight as well, so he's gonna... them shots, he's gonna be able to absorb them better. Even though I guess they're both the same weight. And actually, we haven't seen how Golovkin holds up to the new Canelo power. Because it has to be said, Canelo didn't really start punching hard until about 2019. Back in them early days, Alvarez was more of a combination puncher. It's only recently, in the last few years, he's become a big 1 or 2 banger. But even then, look at part of the reason I don't believe Alvarez will get the stoppage is because it took him 10 rounds to stop Plant. 11, I think it took him 11 rounds to stop Plant. Took him 8 rounds to stop Billy Joe. And even then, when he stopped Billy Joe, it wasn't really a true stoppage, in as much as if Billy Joe's eye hadn't have gone, who knows how many more rounds it could have lasted. Do you get what I'm saying? Plant took 11. Now, Plant is no Golovkin. I don't care about age. If Plant can last 11, Golovkin can last 12. Now, it doesn't always work like that. Golovkin's more aggressive. Golovkin doesn't run as much, so he will be there to be hit. However, Golovkin, like Bivol, he ain't no dummy. And normally how you catch Golovkin is with combinations. It's unlikely to catch these guys with big one-off shots. That's why Callum Smith also was able to survive. Callum Smith was able to survive because to break down top level guys, you have to use combinations. You can't rely on one punch. Even, to be honest, the Kovalev fight, Alvarez arguably got lucky in that fight. He was losing the fight until the knockout. He was losing the fight until Kovalev put his chin in the air. Alvarez really looked like he had no answers. He was just following Kovalev around the ring. And then he found the shot. So, I mean, it's all interesting. I like the beef. Before, this game can be boring sometimes. Now, these two guys, for a build-up here, where 2 men aren't speaking English, this is as interesting as it gets. You've got Alvarez viciously going for the KO, and you've got Golovkin just punking. Golovkin staying on this guy. We've never seen these 2 dudes yet get in the ring and have proper beef. This, for me, feels like beef. I'm intrigued to see how it plays out. For Canelo, the key to victory is cardio. If he runs out of cardio, it's a wrap for him. Although, I will say, I think the only way Golovkin can win is by stoppage. And I don't think there's no chance he's going to stop Alvarez. So forget about that. Yeah, essentially, I don't think there's any way Golovkin can win, to be honest with you. I think even if he does put on a Bivol performance, it would have to be even better than Bivol's, to be honest with you. Because even then, Alvarez is going to be better than he was against Bivol, in my opinion. Losses wake people up. Well, time will tell anyway. I'm actually looking forward to the fight, truth be known. 2 solid dudes going in there and squabbling it up. I think the whole weight thing, the whole 168 part of things, gives it a new dimension. Let's not forget, this isn't the Canelo of 2018. This is Golovkin versus a new Canelo. And also, this isn't a Golovkin of 2018. This is an older Golovkin. So it really is a new fight. I don't even really consider this to be a trilogy. It really is a whole brand new, kind of storyline. Let's see how it plays out. Smash the like button, subscribe, and your boy will be back 100%.